everyone, so final video review for this week is for my paperback read, which was 4 Steps by Wendy Hudson. For any of you that haven't seen the introduction video, you can still catch that still on my YouTube or on my blog, and for any of you that didn't see it, this is just a quick look at what the book looks like. If you want to check out my Goodreads review, I did just post that the other day, so if you're on YouTube there's a link in the description below, and if you are on Facebook or on my blog then there is a link within the post. And this is the video review. So 4 Steps by Wendy Hudson. Now I have heard so many good things about this book, and people have told me that I must read it. So I've had it now since I went to South Coast Lesbic Hangout last year, which was like a whole year ago and a bit. And this was absolutely gripping, so I can see what everybody was talking about. And this was the story of Laurie and Alex. They meet whilst they're out exploring the Scottish Highlands, and they have this instant connection. So leaving each other as friends, Alex returns to her quiet farm in Scotland, and Laurie back to moving on with her life after having broken up with her boyfriend. But Laurie gets home and she finds herself wanting to hear from Alex, like really wanting to hear from her, and she can't resist the offer when Alex invites her for a weekend at the farm. So off she goes, and the two of them, they just can't help but admit they have this attraction, and they really get on. And Alex, she kind of has a past that is looming over her, and it threatens what could be this relationship. And they really have to think about whether they can make something work, because obviously you've got Laurie's background with her boyfriend, and then you've got Alex's very tragic past. So there's a lot going on in here, but it was absolutely amazing. Like, oh my god, I loved it so much, and I knew it would be. I'd heard great things, and I've heard nothing but good things about Wendy's work. I've only read one of her books before, and I knew that this was going to be a thrill. I just know Wendy's style from reading that one book and how she writes, and that when I read Meant to Be Me, which was the first book I read by Wendy, I just knew I had to read her other work. And this is her debut novel. So 4 Steps is her debut novel, and it's absolutely blown me away. It's amazing. It didn't disappoint, had me fully invested from the very beginning, because I had no idea how it was all going to come together and be a book that fitted Wendy's style. And you had this really cute romance, and the two characters, they had the chance for happiness, and it was blossoming away between Laurie and Alex, and it balanced beautifully with the underlying threat of the past coming back to haunt Alex and ruining everything for everyone, in ways that you genuinely you couldn't possibly imagine. Believe me, horrific. And Wendy has created an absolutely amazing novel with a dark side that fed mystery surrounding two people that really deserved happiness more than anything. And I loved that connection between Alex and Laurie. It really, really worked. And I loved how it was all coming together when things just took a turn for the worst. And I can't tell you too much about it because it will give away way too many spoilers. And this is just one of those books you're going to have to trust me. You need to read it. And there was just no telling how this was going to play out. I found myself literally holding my breath towards the end. I was like, oh my god, what is going to happen? And I was kind of emotionally overwhelmed when everything sort of surfaced and things started to happen that were a little bit controversial for this genre. And I was like, oh my god, no, you can't do this to them. They need the happy ending. And it was just an absolutely fantastic combination of romance with thriller. Totally Wendy, and I absolutely loved it. And it was so heartwarming and yet heartbreaking, like all at the same time. And I loved how that left me so emotionally connected to Alex and Laurie and their situation, really connected to it. And the circumstances that led up to them being wrapped up in such a position was really tragic, but it was kind of grounding, and it made a lovely sort of realistic element to meeting someone and never really knowing who you're meeting. You'll never really know everything that they've been through sometimes, and you have to trust that they're a good person and that what happened to them in the past they can overcome, and the other person has to trust that not everybody's going to hurt them. And I loved that. It was a nice realistic element. It just settled nicely, and it just balanced the romance, balanced the thrill and the mystery and the tragic past, and it was just really nicely put together that you could really enjoy reading it. It was a real thrill to read, and it was just brilliant. I couldn't put it down. I really genuinely couldn't put it down. invested from that very first page and loving every second of it. It was brilliant. So I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab a copy of 4 Steps by Wendy Hudson, which I hope you will. If you've read 4 Steps by Wendy Hudson, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. This is going to be one of those books that divides people, I think, a little bit, just by some of the things that happen in it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts if you've read it. If you haven't read it but you're planning to read it, or it's on your to be read list, or you're now interested in reading it, again, I would love to hear from you, so please get in touch, comment below and let me know. And if you do read it, I just really hope you have a brilliant time reading it, and I hope you absolutely love it. Bye.